Craig, the Oscars are coming up. The Oscar nominations are public knowledge. Your thoughts?
The Oscars are lucky they have my unconditional love because they piss me off every single year.
Why is that?
Because there's always the one they leave out, which of course would be Moonrise Kingdom, which I think only has one nomination.
Yeah, that was very disappointing for me.
And if that's not nominated, Wes Anderson's never going to be nominated if that one, because it's his best movie since Tannenbaums.
Right.
The thing that might piss me off the most is Argo related. Argo wasn't nominated for Best Costume, which floors me because of how exact they get 1979 to 1980. While every other movie takes place before 1900 or Snow White is involved. So, if you want to be nominated for an Oscar, you best start making bodices, because that's a requirement, evidently.
There's no Best Picture nomination for The Master, which I thought was one of the best films of the year. I really hope that Robert De Niro wins Best Supporting Actor, because I thought he was great in Silver Linings Playback Book.
Playback Book?
When he gets the right role and he takes a good project, he's the best around.
You know what role I would have loved to have had in that movie? The kid across the street who keeps trying to interview his son, and De Niro goes after him, and he gives him that tirade. He's like, "You I will you up, you And I was like, God damn it, if De Niro could say that to me, I'd be so happy.
Do you think that's going to win Best Picture, Les Mis?
I thought it was going to be Lincoln top to bottom this year, but it's a really good spread. And
I haven't seen Lincoln yet.
It's amazing if you like legislature, which I do.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode I'm going to spring one on you. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. Craig?
Yes, Matt?
It's February.
Oh, crap.
And that means that Valentine's Day is just around the corner, which means it's time for us to have another romantic evening together.
Better be chocolate involved.
Yes, there is chocolate
got a box of
chocolates for
us.
And a romantic movie. If you don't like tonight's movie, I'm not sorry. Because love means never having to say you're sorry.
Love Story.
Released in 1970, Love Story was the highest-grossing film of that year, and divided critics. Roger Ebert loved it. Judith Crist called it Camille with bullshit. Much of the film was shot on the Harvard campus, and it was the first big-screen role for Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh.
Known back then as Tom Lee Jones. Since the late 70s, Harvard's Crimson Key Society has showed Love Story during its freshman orientation, encouraging the audience to boo and jeer the film to build school spirit. I'm not sure how that works. Will we be booing and jeering as well? Or will we be crying our fool eyes out?
I know how it ends, so I doubt that I'll be crying my fool eyes out.
Since we're watching Love Story, I thought it only appropriate that your gift be a love story.
Oh! And let's see what it is. Oh! Love in Dishevelment. Matt's known me for a long time, and he knows my romantic history.
Why don't you find a choice passage to read us there?
Was the blood that coursed through the trim bodies of the polished professional girls of Madison Avenue ruby red or pale pink? Earl wondered. And then Earl found out. A gay breeze swept him into an alliance, a little riotous and altogether surprising.
Who among us hasn't been swept into an alliance by a gay breeze?
I know.
Well, all you lovebirds out there, come snuggle up with us on the old leather couch for the 1970 romantic movie.
Love Story. Oh! Oh!
What is it?
I don't know.
This is a story of the love between Harvard and rich people who thirst for power.
What can you say about a 25-year-old girl who died?
Oliver Barrett IV meets Jenny Cavalieri.
A pretty young librarian, played by Ally McBeal.
After some spirited banter.
I wouldn't go for coffee with you.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't ask you.
Well, that's what makes you stupid.
They go out for coffee. Ally McGraw.
Yeah, I know, I always make that mistake.
Is Oliver falling in love? Is Jenny? It's hard to say. At first, it's a little touch and go.
Listen, you conceited Radcliffe bitch.
But eventually, they proclaim their affection. And then, sex. Here we go. This is what we showed up for. Love and dishevelment.
Ally tastefully covering the side boob. Meanwhile, there's a poker game in which there's a certain someone playing poker. If you got your hopes up that he'll be all over this movie, he's not. Oliver's father is a rich baron of sorts.
Tell me, Oliver, have you heard from the law school?
It's a pre-Steadicam walk and talk. Shaky cameras all the time. It's a pre-Steadicam walk and talk. 1970 walk and talk.
Look, Harvard is like this big Santa Claus bag stuffed full of all kinds of crazy toys.
That's what Veritas stands for.
You want to marry me?
Oliver decides he wants to marry Jennifer, despite the fact that she comes from humble origins.
Don't worry, Jenny, it'll be a breeze.
It'll be a gay breeze that blows us into an alliance.
I'd like you to meet Jennifer Cavallari.
Cavallari.
As in Cavalleria Rusticana.
We're looking forward to a very stiff and awkward evening with you.
Tell me, Oliver, have you heard from law school?
Did you find that bottle, Dad, that you were looking for?
You had another bottle, you know you did. Where did you put it?
Did the bat chase him?
That was a reference to The Lost Weekend, folks. A personal favorite of mine.
It's impossible to get to Oliver Barrett III.
Unless, maybe...
We murder him.
I'd love for the movie to go into murder for inheritance plot. Oliver's always like, hey, get off my back, Dad.
Don't go off half-cocked, damn it.
Go off full-cocked. The only way to go off.
If you marry her now, I'll not give you the time of day.
Father, you don't know the time of day.
His dad disowns him. Oliver and Jenny get married.
Her father, a widower, is a baker, and a pretty nice guy.
I will not allow it. Do you get me?
You're tilting at windmills, Phil.
I know exactly how to get this guy to do anything. You put a horse head in his bed.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is he gonna think?
All right, you Kraut Mick.
And Oliver is forced to struggle through law school.
It was the 70s. He could just sell this car and go to law school. Law school was like $4,800 back in 1970.
Ladri de bicicleta!
They have to support themselves by being summer camp teachers and Christmas tree salesmen.
Oliver and Jenny have a good relationship with a surprising amount of insult.
Sometimes you are really a bitch.
Salty dialogue.
The case is closed.
The stiffest froze on the one that got away.
Yeah, the armchair is smiling.
Why so down, Oliver? What the hell is he looking for?
I don't know, he's just been wandering around all day looking at things.
Ah, yeah, look for your music major wife at the music building.
Oh.
Jenny, I'm sorry.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
Finally, after struggling, being forced to only drive one Rolls Royce, Oliver graduates law school. He and Jenny move to New York, but then tragedy strikes.
Jenny is dying.
She's dying.
At first, he doesn't tell her. He just kind of mopes around New York.
Actually, it's interesting what they're doing with the music here. They're just like playing little bits of it, and then it's like going into car horns. And...
Yeah.
Jenny?
Are you dead?
Get up, you lazy preppy, would you please, and get out there and support me in the manner to which I plan to become accustomed.
Don't call me lazy. You're dying.
You meeting Stratton today?
Yes, I am dying. I mean, darling.
If you have to take your wife out to dinner in the middle of the week, you must be screwing somebody.
No, but I might be soon.
But she finds out.
You saw Dr. Shapley?
Mm-hmm. And his buddy, too.
The Grim Reaper. And they have to find a way to enjoy their final days together. It's the terminal disease waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, months to live, months to live.
You always supported me. I mean, after all, what's money?
I don't know.
Is it a bird? All that's important is that she knew love. Oliver needs money for the hospital. He goes up to Boston and sees his father,
who he hasn't spoken to in a long time. I would love it if his dad came in and had like a robotic arm. Like, son, it's been a long time.
How have you been, Oliver?
It's been some problems, but the boys down in the lab made this up for me.
To borrow money to help with medical expenses.
Just write out a check, Father. It's a personal matter. Yeah. Thank you, Father.
Now where's that bat?
Oliver gets back to New York City just in time to watch Jenny die. He gets very emotional about this. It is actually quite touching.
Would you please hold me?
She and Oliver share a tender goodbye.
And then Oliver goes out to tell Jenny's dad, Phil, that she is no longer with him. Gimme. There you go. Greaseball.
I wish I hadn't promised Jenny to be strong for you.
Oliver,
Have you heard from the law school?
why did you tell me?
I'm sorry.
Love? Love means never having to say you're sorry.
And she never went to Paris. And she knew love.
What do you say about a 25-year-old girl who died? They said it. In Love Story. I'm sorry, turn the thing off. Oh, I'm sorry. Love Story, what did you think?
I thought it was entirely adequate.
I always imagine that this movie was the absolute embodiment of sensitive, touchy-feely 70s movies. And
yes.
Really, it's not. It's very rough around the edges in many ways. In terms of the style of the cinematography, it seems to be all handheld. Mm-hmm. It's very new Hollywood. The story is very amorphous. There's not much of a plot.
Yeah.
And the language is very coarse for 1970. I was surprised at that.
Ally...
Why do you keep calling her Ally McBeal?
Because she's the only other Ally Mick I know. It was a very profane movie.
Yeah.
And I think that might be one of the things that made it so popular.
Right. Well, it was a pleasant surprise for me, because I was expecting a lot of silly, doe-eyed romance.
Yeah.
It was pretty much the opposite of that.
All right, we like each other. It's like, actually, we love each other. And if you love each other, it doesn't matter what you say to each other, I guess.
This movie sort of reflects changing gender identity roles and changing, what is it called, where you got the man and the woman, they're like this.
The dominant male paradigm?
Yeah,
Yes.
the male-dominant paradigm.
Yeah, she supports him while he's finishing up law school.
It's not rosy at all. It's not like a Cinderella story, a Romeo and Juliet story. It's very much like these two people meet, they go out on dates, and it's just like, it's so matter-of-fact.
It's to the point of being dull. That's why I think that they called it Love Story, to define it.
It's sort of like the band calling themselves the band. Mm-hmm. They're really proclaiming that this is the model of relationship stories from here on out.
The platonic ideal.
We're starting over at year zero right here in 1970.
Yeah, it's...
But did they? Is that how it turned out?
Well,
did movies from then on, up even until today, do they follow that sort of formula?
You do have... No, you don't have stronger women in movies. You have those
Not
career-minded women
Yeah.
who don't have time for love and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's all that boring rom-com crap that we see these days. So it wasn't without its merits. I just really don't see what the big deal is about this movie.
Well, I don't think it's a big deal anymore. It was a big deal 40 years ago. And it certainly shows its age. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. It is dull at parts. It is confusing at points. I really liked watching that relationship unfold. I really would like to cut together my own trailer of this and just feature the insults and the barbs.
Ali MacGraw and Ryan O'Neal star in the #1 bestseller by Eric Siegel,
You look stupid.
Listen, you conceited Radcliffe bitch.
You are the supreme Radcliffe smartass.
Bullshit. You're looking at my legs. Holy shit. Bullshit. Hey, what is this, sir?
You were under the mistaken impression that I wanted to make love to you.
Why are you so heavy?
But I'm not interested. Definitely not interested.
Well, that's what makes you stupid.
You Barretts are so goddamn proud and competitive.
Get the hell out of here. I don't want you at my goddamn deathbed. You're a heartless bastard. Screw Paris.
Let's get the hell out of my life!
Love Story.
I think you have a YouTube classic on your hands. Radcliffe bitch.
Yeah.
First date. Definitely, I'm not a fan of calling a woman bitch on the first date.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making. They're showing that, you know, romance is not this thing that happens and the angels sing and swelling music plays. It's just two people who come together and they do this, and that's how you fall in love. You don't fall in love, you know, swooning into each other's arms. You fall in love by calling your date a bitch on the first date.
You fall in love because she's as adorable as Ally McBeal, and he's a pretty boy like Ryan
Ally
O'Neal.
McGraw.
They fall in love because she's pretty enough and he's pretty enough, and they're like, we may as well be together.
That's not the
how
reason
it
at
felt
all.
to me at all.
Love Story. Check it out. Take your honey to your old leather couch and sit her down and say, "Listen up, you Radcliffe bitch. Watch this movie." It's Valentine's Day. Merry Christmas. It's time for some customer comments. Before we do that, I just want to say that the Welcome to the Basement PayPal button is up and operational, and some generous souls have made some donations. We want to thank Patricia, Linda, Ryan, David, Bob, and Busy Hands for your donations. Thank you. You've helped to pay for some production costs and things like that. And if you want to help out with the show, check it out at welcometothebasementshow.com. Our old friend Thundercracker has written back. Thanks for featuring my comment on scanners on the show. Also, to Craig, I was not mocking you. I sincerely enjoyed the movie.
You read that wrong.
What?
Let me see. Thanks for featuring my comment on scanners on the show. Also, to Craig, I was not mocking you. I sincerely enjoyed the movie.
You know what?
What?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think he is mocking us.
And
Why don't you knock it off, Thundercracker?
Yeah.
A lot of people responded positively to Saturday Night Fever. They enjoyed it. So many of them said they would have never considered watching the movie, and now they're going to check it out, including Wydock. And also Castellano Farsante says, now I really want to see it, and other iconic movies that I know only through cultural osmosis. Well said. Ryan Mudd says, hey, I love your show. One quick question. Why did no one mention the rape scene prior to the suicide on the bridge? It makes the whole dark event even more depressing and cements that nihilistic mood. Well, Ryan, we didn't not mention the rape scene because it's unpleasant, merely. You know, we have to take a 2-hour movie and condense it into 5-6 minutes, and, you know, some things need to be cut. And it just turned out that was something that got cut.
Yes. There was a rape that went unreported. Don't laugh about rape.
You made it funny.
I know. I'm that good.
We're getting the uncool warning from the camera lady. We posed a question at the end of the last episode. What actor has played his real-life father in a movie? And we've gotten some answers.
Colin Skinner. Shooter Jennings plays his father, Waylon Jennings, in Walk the Line. Well done.
Ken Hullett also said that the movie Mambo Kings, Desi Arnaz Jr. plays Desi Arnaz Sr. I'm sensing a pattern here. And the movie that I was thinking of, Christopher Jordan Wallace plays his own Big Papa, the Notorious B.I.G., as a teenager in the 2009 biopic Notorious, which is a movie that got pretty bad reviews, but I didn't think it was all that terrible. So it seems like musicians do cameos in movies where they play their own fathers. Probably because they look like them and can sing.
Well, there we go.
That's enough customer comments for now. Now it's time for Seen It.
Seen It.
Seen It is the part of the show where we read your comments and suggestions, and I tell you that I've already seen them. Believe it. Our theme for Seen It, variations on romance. Movies that go against the traditional romantic formula.
All right.
And we're going to start off with one that probably is as far away from the formula as you could possibly get. MTG Anime Miike fan suggests Audition by Takashi Miike. The Matt Wolf says that the last 20 minutes chased Rob Zombie out of the theater. Are you up to the challenge? I was. Seen it.
Seen it. A friend of ours recommended that to us years ago, saying that it was the scariest ending ever.
It's the only movie I've watched in the last 20 years where I watched it like this. Yeah, it was pretty messed up. But it starts off as very much like a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
It's an older man searching for a wife. And he picks the wrong lady.
Yes, he did.
Bull to the shit writes, review Harold and Maude.
Seen it.
Probably Hal Ashby's most well-known movie.
Probably his best movie, in my opinion.
It's good. It really holds up.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It is very fun.
Vasco Gama. Have you seen The Invention of Lying? Really good, really funny movie. I have to disagree with you there. I thought parts of it were funny. Didn't think it was a good movie. Although, really interesting concept.
I have not seen that movie. Ricky Gervais?
Yeah. I really didn't think it was that funny, although it certainly had its moments, and I thought the romance of it was completely off base. Talk about not believing that two people are in love with each other. The whole movie is just off. Modern 67, Defending Your Life. Seen it? I go back and watch it about once every 5 years. Fun movie. Seen it.
Seen it.
I don't think he deserved what he got in the end.
No, I don't think so either. He deserved it because he wrote his own part.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So no one was going to get in his way.
We're, of course, talking about the main character, played by Albert Brooks, and I don't want to give away the ending, but you watch it and make the call.
It's a fun, different take on what happens in the afterlife.
Yep, in the afterlife, you get really upset when someone offers you a big stack of pies.
Yes.
And you make a big scene.
Dad, you don't got to be neurotic anymore, Albert Brooks.
We've got two different people here who recommend the movie Drive. Tyler Stanley says it blew him away and all but started his obsession with cinema. Agent Adorno says, have you seen Drive? Most people hated it. I loved it. I didn't. Most people didn't hate it, did they?
There's a certain scene in it.
Pipes!
There's a certain scene in it. It's the big scene in the movie.
Yeah.
I started cackling at the end of the sequence.
The elevator?
Yeah, the elevator.
Yeah.
Because I was so happy with just the fact that that scene could be made, and within seconds, someone in the movie got up and left.
Oh.
Give it a try.
I really didn't find it that shocking, that scene notwithstanding. I love the style of it. I thought the acting was great, and I liked the romance.
And you know who's in that movie? America's Caveman.
Ron Perlman. Yeah.
That's right. Got Walter White.
Albert Brooks.
Albert Brooks is in that one, too.
Yeah.
And he's awesome.
And he should have, people say he got snubbed by the Oscars for not getting a nomination. Daniel Hunt. If you guys haven't seen it, you should watch Heathers. It's a very odd movie from the 80s that seems to start out as more of a chick flick, but becomes so much more. Seen it. A friend of mine from high school said that at the beginning of your freshman year, you should watch Breakfast Club. And at the beginning of your senior year, you should watch Heathers. And it will really put everything into place for high school. That's Seen It, and that's our show. We'd like to thank you for joining us. Go check out WelcomeToTheBasementShow.com. Donate some money in the PayPal button. Check out the episode guide.
And a certain holiday is coming up. Don't forget your sweetheart. Take her to see Lincoln on Lincoln's birthday.
Good night, folks. Someone's crying their fool eyes out.
Are you crying?
Oh, she's bawling over there.
It's all right, Tona. It's all right. You're not the first person ever to cry at this movie.
You are the target demographic for Love Story.
You're talking like Alan McGraw.
Listen, you conceited Radcliffe bitch.